I'd love for you to teach us a little more about Veggie Rescue.
Okay. I'm at home alone, so I'm mask free, which feels good at the moment. So my name is Diana O'Connell, and I'm the executive director of a nonprofit called Veggie Rescue, which currently supports all communities in the county of Santa Barbara. What we do is we receive donations of food that would otherwise go to waste. The majority of our partners are farmers. So we pick up a lot of fresh produce, locally grown produce from farms and farmers markets. We also have a couple of bakeries that donate a lot of extra baked loaves of bread, and a restaurant supply company, which you might see their trucks called Cisco. They have a warehouse in Oxnard, and they allow us to come down once a week and fill a big truck with food that is not going to get sold from their warehouse, and we bring it back into Santa Barbara. When we fill our trucks, we don't actually have a facility. We don't store food. We fill up our trucks, we turn around and we start delivering to 50 to 60 different nonprofits throughout the county that do charitable feeding. So some of those are homeless shelters. Some of them are food pantries being run out of different churches. There are a lot of senior centers that provide meals to seniors that are on fixed incomes. And they also do like home deliveries through those programs. And we also support, especially in the summertime, some summer kids programs where they don't have funding like schools do for meals and snacks during their programming. And those are the kids that are oftentimes, their only consistent meals are the ones they get when they're in the programs or in schools. So we do a lot of charitable feeding with food that would otherwise go to waste. Our biggest challenges, being a small nonprofit with not a lot of resources, is that we have some manual processes. So number one, we have to track all of the pounds of food that we pick up from our donors for two reasons. One, we need to be able to turn around at the end of the year and give them reports on the pounds of food they donated, and then they use those in their tax returns as charitable contributions. So it's a business deduction for them, for their farm. And then the other reason is because of grant writing. We have to really track what we're doing so that we could demonstrate in a really objective way. Excuse me, I've had a sore throat lately. In a really objective way, the impact we're having on the community. And so we communicate that impact by also tracking pounds of food delivered and where it's going, which parts of the county, whether it's produce or prepared food, whether the food was going to go to the landfill or not. So some food that we rescue would have been tilled under in a field. It never would have been boxed. It wouldn't have ended up in the landfill. But then for other grants, we need to know what we're doing as far as landfill diversion. So I actually implemented a database this year that tracks kind of all these things, and I'd be able to share reports with all the different categories that we track of information. But we track pounds in and pounds out and where they're coming from and who's getting them. And right now, the way we track it is the drivers have sheets that they write on, and they do their math manually. They, at the end of the day, because the trucks are refrigerated, they can have like a pickup from like an evening farmer's market. It'll stay in the truck and they'll deliver some, but then the rest will be delivered the next day, and a different driver will get in the truck. So you could maybe imagine how difficult it is to make sure that pounds in always equals pounds out, because we have an admin person that takes the sheets every week, and she can tell you they almost never agree. And if they do agree, it's because the drivers have learned to start rounding their numbers so they match. So we have this very manual process for the drivers. And then we have an admin person that takes all their notes and puts it in the database. And then she has me telling her that you have to balance pounds in the truck has to equal pounds going out of the truck. Because even if we don't give the food away, say some of it is maybe too ripe to be eaten by humans, then the next stop is the pig farm or the miniature donkey rescue farm. So if we don't feed humans, we feed animals. And if we don't feed animals, then it goes into a composting machine. So we don't actually take anything, but either way, the pounds all go somewhere. And then at the end of every 2 weeks, we have the admin person looking at the sheets from the trucks and looking at the timesheet, which is also manual, and saying, well, let's see, so-and-so worked on Tuesday, but I'm missing their sheet. I don't see a truck sheet for them. Or I see a truck sheet for someone and it doesn't match the day that they put on their timesheet. So then there's another reconciliation with that. So so what I had talked to Maggie about was if we had like tablets in the vehicles where people can sign into work and track what they're picking up and who they're picking up from basically, and where they're going, and then where they take it, and then when they go home at night. Then there would be no need for all of the pain that they go through in reconciling, and which happens on a weekly basis. So that's my summary. Any questions right away, Maggie?